Let's be honest.
Crypto sentiment is in the toilet right now. Many investors are watching their portfolios bleed and thinking, well, that's it. We got a pro-crypto US president. This is as good as it's gonna get. It's down only from here. But what if we told you that the good times may still be ahead of us? Previously hostile US regulatory agencies are flipping crypto-friendly. While progress may be slower than some expected, it is in fact being made. So if you're feeling extreme fear about crypto, then this is a video that may just change your mind. My name is Nick. Stay tuned. Now, if you've been in crypto for more than 5 minutes, you'll know the industry has an image problem. To many, crypto is just a digital Wild West filled with some of the worst lowlifes in existence. And to be blunt, it's easy to see why. There's been no shortage of scams, fraud, and shady conduct over the years. The thing is, this isn't the fault of the technology or even the industry, but rather a handful of bad actors. The lack of clear rules and guidelines has made it all too easy for these few wrong-uns to spoil things for the rest of us. And it's arguably been this innovative tech's biggest hurdle to mainstream adoption. Thankfully, the solution to this problem is simple: crypto regulations. The catch is that these regulations need to be balanced. Too much regulation could stifle innovation or push crypto activity underground. Too little regulation, and there will be too many loopholes for bad actors to abuse, and we'd be no better off. Luckily, these regulations are not only coming, but it looks like they could well be balanced and fair, thus allowing the crypto industry to thrive. And that's because President Donald Trump has nominated a string of pro-crypto individuals for key positions that will influence crypto regulations in the US, giving the industry the rails it needs for true mainstream adoption. Let's start with the regulator that's been the biggest thorn in our side, the SEC. But before we do that, hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss our next video. For those unfamiliar, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, regulates securities, which include assets like stocks and bonds. The SEC views the vast majority of cryptocurrencies as securities, and this is because of the Howey test, which uses 4 criteria to determine whether a transaction constitutes a securities offering. These 4 criteria are as follows. An investment of money has been made, the investment is in a common enterprise, there's an expectation of profit, and that expectation of profit is derived from the efforts of others. While all crypto projects meet the first 3 criteria, many don't meet the 4th. And that's because decentralization means there's no common enterprise. There's no clear third party you can point to that's driving an expectation of profit. More importantly, many crypto projects start off as being centralized but become more decentralized over time. Unfortunately, this hasn't stopped the SEC labeling many cryptos as unregistered securities and issuing enforcement actions against them. The agency has also gone after major crypto exchanges like Binance, Kraken, and Coinbase, which it has accused of offering unregistered securities. Fortunately, these lawsuits are being rolled back as we speak. But who was behind this witch hunt in the first place? Of course, it was former SEC Chairman Gary Gensler and, to a large extent, former Director of Enforcement Goober Graywell. Under Gary's leadership, the SEC opted for regulation by enforcement, causing major setbacks for crypto, especially since the guidelines for compliance were never clarified. That's why during the election campaign, President Trump declared twice that he'd fire Gary Gensler on day 1 of his presidency. But Gary resigned before that happened. And this was something to celebrate, but it was also a pivotal moment for the SEC. And that's because stepping in is acting SEC Chair Mark Ueda, who will hold the position until a permanent chair is appointed. Notably, Mark has been critical of the SEC's enforcement strategies. His priority is creating something that crypto has been desperate for: clear, fair regulation. More importantly, Mark is pro-crypto and even established the first ever crypto task force, which will be led by Hester Pierce. For those unaware, Hester is another SEC commissioner and a strong advocate for crypto innovation and clear regulation, a trait that's earned her the nickname Crypto Mom. Cute. Anyways, her crypto task force will prioritize moving away from regulation by enforcement and towards creating more productive and transparent regulations that foster crypto innovation. Now, Trump's nominee for the SEC's permanent chair is Paul Atkins, although at the time of shooting he hasn't been officially confirmed. The reason this is taking longer than expected is simple. There's a queue. Basically, there are several cabinet members ahead of Paul in the queue to have their nominations confirmed, and it's not entirely clear when it will be his turn. To put things into perspective, Gary Gensler was nominated in February 2021, but wasn't confirmed until April 2021. In any case, Paul is pro-crypto, advocating for free market principles and innovation. He previously served as SEC Commissioner between 2002 and 2008, where he focused on enhancing compliance in the financial services industry. What's crazy is how much the SEC has shifted since Gary's departure. Besides dismissing lawsuits against exchanges, it has approved the first ever yield-bearing stablecoin security and acknowledged Grayscale's ETF applications for XRP, Doge, and ADA. It even declared that meme coins aren't securities and has begun engaging with crypto firms to discuss regulations. The SEC has also revoked the controversial SAB 121 rule, which basically prevented banks from holding crypto. So then, what was formerly the crypto industry's biggest enemy has changed its tune, and in a big way. But this could actually end up being one great big nothing burger. And that's because shortly after Trump's election in November last year, his team began considering handing crypto oversight from the SEC to the CFTC.
Hey man, hey, what do you do for a living?
Me? I'm a crypto YouTuber. Yeah, it's pretty fun job actually. See ya.
What about you? What do you do for a living?
Oh, me, man. I checked the Coin Bureau deals page. It's got sign-up bonuses of up to $100,000 and trading fee discounts, but I mean huge trading fee discounts, and exclusive altcoin alpha in their subscription service. Check it out.
For those unaware, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, regulates, well, futures and commodities. The CFTC has long been considered to be less anti-crypto than the SEC, although it had pushed back on the idea in the past, insisting that it wouldn't hesitate to enforce legal action if needed. But what does the CFTC actually do? Well, when it comes to crypto, the CFTC regulates digital assets that are classified as commodities, primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum, which it considers commodities under its jurisdiction. The CFTC is often seen as the smaller player in crypto regulation, although its role has been expanding. This is thanks to bipartisan efforts being passed through Congress that aim to give the CFTC more authority. Anyway, the former chair of the CFTC is Rostin Benham. Rostin was similar to Gary in the sense that he wanted more regulation without clarity per se. Specifically, he advocated for the CFTC to have more authority over crypto regulation and viewed DeFi as within the CFTC's purview. According to Rostin, it doesn't matter if a protocol is managed by a DAO, saying it's about what consumers are exposed to and who set up or coded the project. Rostin also believed that the Howey test used by the SEC is the best tool to analyze the crypto market. He also argues that the CFTC's responsibility is to facilitate disclosures, information flow and availability, and knowledge about the risk of loss. Similar to Gary, Rostin stepped down as chair on Trump's inauguration day and was succeeded by Caroline Pham, who was unanimously elected as acting chair. Caroline has served as CFTC Commissioner since 2022 and has also worked in its enforcement divisions. She's also held previous roles at the SEC and the OCC. That's quite a resume over there. While serving as Commissioner, Caroline fostered collaborations across the financial ecosystem. Her priority was embracing the advances of financial technology while ensuring that the US remained a global financial leader. In other words, moving fast but not breaking things. Caroline has also led multiple CFTC initiatives that modernize market structures. These include creating a dedicated digital assets subcommittee, the first ever US digital asset taxonomy, a forum for CEOs of leading industry firms to discuss a new initiative, the Digital Assets Markets Pilot Program. This initiative explores the potential of tokenized real-world assets to enhance market efficiency and improve risk management. Notable participants include Circle, Coinbase, Ripple, and MoonPay, among others. Anywho, for the permanent position, Trump has nominated Brian Quintes for the CFTC chair, although, again, he hasn't yet been confirmed. Brian served as CFTC commissioner between 2017 and 2021, having been nominated by both Obama and Trump and unanimously approved by the Senate. So, it seems Brian's a well-respected guy across the political spectrum. While formerly serving as a commissioner, Brian led the Technology Advisory Committee, spearheading discussions on the potential of blockchain and other emerging technologies to ensure regulations evolve alongside them. Since leaving the CFTC, Brian has been working at Andreessen Horowitz, aka A16Z, the largest crypto VC firm by some metrics. And this is easily the most significant thing about him. He literally works at a crypto VC firm that invests primarily in altcoins. It should come as no surprise then that Brian is a vocal advocate for clear, risk-calibrated rules and is against regulation by enforcement. Instead, he wants proactive policies that foster crypto's institutional adoption while maintaining market integrity. Similar to the SEC, the CFTC has also made several bullish steps since Trump took office. It announced an end to regulation by enforcement and announced a back-to-basics roundtable discussions on market structure. Meanwhile, Coinbase launched CFTC-backed SOL future contracts for the first time, and a former CFTC lawyer said the agency should take the lead on meme coin regulations. Oh, and when Brian was nominated by Trump, he announced it on Farcaster, a Web3 social media platform. Respect. Now, another regulator that's becoming more pro-crypto is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, which for years has maintained a highly cautious and restrictive stance towards the industry. For those unaware, the FDIC is an independent US government agency that provides insurance for depositors using commercial and savings banks. The FDIC is infamous for issuing pause letters to various institutions, basically telling them to suspend crypto-related services. And this discouraged banks from engaging with crypto, effectively restricting a broad range of crypto projects from accessing banking services, making it difficult for them to continue doing business in the US. This move has been dubbed Operation Chokepoint 2.0, whereby crypto projects are blocked from accessing banks and other financial services, effectively choking them out of the business. And you can learn more about Chokepoint 2.0 by checking out our video right over here. It went both ways too, by the way. Any banks that requested to engage with the crypto were consistently refused, with the FDIC repeatedly requesting unnecessary excessive information. Then there'd be long periods of radio silence, causing delays so severe that it made engagement with crypto more hassle than it was worth. The FDIC's regulatory attitude stemmed from its former chair, Martin Gruenberg, who quickly resigned after Trump's November victory, although this was apparently due to a string of bullying, discrimination, and harassment reports within the FDIC under his watch. Make of that what you will. Put simply, Martin, he hates crypto. In fact, when he stepped down, Bitcoin Magazine published this rather damning good riddance article. According to them, Gary Gensler may have been the most hated man in crypto, but Martin is a close second. Taking over from Martin is Travis Hill, who will serve as acting chairman of the FDIC. At the time of shooting, Trump has yet to nominate a permanent replacement. But if we could pick one for him, we'd say stick with Travis. And that's because Travis has steered the FDIC into a complete U-turn. He's already outlined that the FDIC will be embracing financial innovation rather than trying to stifle it. Travis wants the FDIC to facilitate a robust banking system that makes use of blockchain technology and its ability to reshape the financial landscape. Travis is a big fan of DeFi, especially tokenized real-world assets. Like you guys watching at home, Travis believes that this technology will improve payment systems and global transactions. As such, Travis aims for the FDIC to reshape the way it regulates crypto in order to allow innovation to continue while also maintaining the security of the banking sector. This involves full transparency, which Travis is doing the best to provide. Case in point. The FDIC recently released a whopping 790 pages of crypto-related letters to the general public. These showed that Chokepoint 2.0 wasn't just a conspiracy theory, but was a categorically genuine, targeted move. And this comes after Trump signed an executive order excluding the FDIC and the Federal Reserve from crypto working groups in order to protect the industry from being debanked again. After sharing those 790 pages, Travis stated that, quote, "The FDIC looks forward to engaging with the President's working group on digital asset markets." Well played, sir. Now, this relates to another regulatory agency, and that's the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or the OCC, the federal agency that oversees national banks. To clarify, a national bank isn't the same as a central bank. Basically, it's a commercial bank operating in the US that the OCC regulates, supervises, and charters. The four largest national banks are JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. The OCC is primarily funded by these banks, mainly through fees. And what's crazy is that the OCC has the power to deny applications for new bank branches. It can remove bank directors and can take supervisory actions against the banks themselves. Now, the OCC is slightly different from other regulators in that it has been pro-crypto for years, or at least it was. Between 2020 and 2021, the OCC issued a series of interpretive letters to banks saying that engaging with crypto was not only allowed, but it was actively encouraged. I mean, how bullish is that, right? However, this all changed in November 2021, when leadership of the OCC was handed over to Michael Su, a self-described crypto skeptic. Michael's OCC then issued another interpretive letter which imposed a new requirement for banks to gain approval from the OCC before engaging with crypto. And surprise, surprise, this rule didn't apply to any other industry. And what's worse is that the approval criteria were never made clear, meaning banks were basically forced to stop in their tracks. And as you'll have guessed, this was an effort to choke crypto companies out of accessing banking services. Sound familiar? Thankfully, Michael is out and Rodney Hood is now the acting Comptroller of Currency head. Crypto-friendly former chairman of the US Credit Union Administration, Rodney has emphasized that crypto is essential for credit unions to stay competitive with other financial service providers. For the permanent Comptroller role, Trump has nominated Jonathan Gold. Jonathan is an expert in banking oversight, fintech policy, and risk management. He was previously the Senior Deputy Comptroller and Chief Counsel, where he led the OCC's legal division through major regulatory reforms, so this should be second nature to him. Jonathan is also pro-crypto and has even worked in the industry. Specifically, he is the former Chief Legal Officer of the blockchain infrastructure firm Bitfury. And with the OCC, he's driven key advancements in fintech, set clear policies on stablecoin reserves, and overseen crypto custody services. Jonathan also advocates for financial regulations to be refined to keep up with the real world, where the technology and the risks are ever evolving. He believes this approach maintains banking stability and emphasizes stress testing, transparency, and strong supervision. So then, as you can see, the regulatory landscape is already shaping up to be incredibly crypto-friendly, and this begs the question of what all this means for the crypto market. First and foremost, it's far too early to tune out. While charts may look bearish in the short term, the long-term outlook remains undeniably bullish. And that's simply because changes at these regulatory agencies will result in structural changes to the crypto market from the top to the bottom. At the top, we have the likes of the FDIC and OCC. Their change in attitude towards crypto will make it easier for both crypto projects and crypto companies to operate and also to receive financing without fear of their accounts getting frozen based on some vague rule or other. At the bottom, we have the SEC and the CFTC, making it clear which cryptos are compliant with regulations and which ones are not. And this will make it easier for exchanges to list these cryptos, and that's true for both traditional exchanges and crypto exchanges. Traditional exchanges will be able to list more altcoin futures and spot altcoin ETFs, and crypto exchanges will be able to list more altcoins. The result is that it will be easier for investors of all kinds to invest in crypto, especially in altcoins. It's not just investment either. In case you haven't noticed, most of these incoming pro-crypto regulators are fans of the technology, specifically things like DeFi and tokenized real-world assets. This foreshadows clearer regulations around not just buying and selling cryptos, but also actively using them. Think things like staking, yield farming, and airdrops, stuff which currently has next to no regulatory clarity in the US. The combination of clearer regulations around crypto investment and usage could result in an explosion of innovation, a new wave of crypto projects and protocols that can, say, leverage TradFi rails in the backend or integrate with existing Web2 products and platforms. And this foreshadows an entirely new category of crypto project that could emerge in the coming years, one that has closer ties to established institutions rather than to the crypto industry. It's going to be interesting to see whether the crypto natives win the adoption battle against these incumbents when they're finally put on the same playing field. But you can rest assured that we'll be watching very closely. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to watch our latest one right over here. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you can do that right over here. That's me for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.